Hello, this is News Tonight. These are our top stories. $1,834 students to benefit from higher education student loan scheme. Uganda, Kenya to sign memorandum of understanding on cross-border challenges. Dozens arrested in Johannesburg loot. And in sports, Uganda's team returns from the All Africa Games with a 10-medal haul. Hello, I'm Rhoda Ngonzi. Mugalu Mohammed joins us on sign language. International Development Law Organization, IDLO, has pledged to support Uganda's justice, law and order sector. The Director General of IDLO, Irene Khan, who is in the country on a 5-day visit, met the pledge while meeting the Prime Minister, Dr. Rugunda, in Kampala.
The International Development Law Organization has a memorandum of understanding with the East African community. It focuses on increasing cooperation between the two organizations around judicial capacity building within the East African community. In July 2019, Cabinet considered and approved Uganda becoming a member party to the International Development Law Organization. Prime Minister Dr. Rugunda welcomed the collaboration to build capacity for the legal profession in Uganda.
Uganda, in the areas of capacity building, focusing on legal profession, but I'm also happy to learn that we support issues in the universal care and issues of management. So you are sure of government Uganda support, and the remaining bits and pieces will be sorted out in terms of documentation, like the matter of routine, because the policy position.
International Development Law Organization supports other programs in Uganda, mainly in the health sector, working with the Ministry of Health and World Health Organization. The support covers promotion of health diets and physical activity, among other things. The Director General of International Development Law Organization, Irene Khan, on her part, said her organization enables governments and empowers people to reform laws and strengthen institutions to promote peace, justice, sustainable development, and economic opportunity. The meeting was attended by Uganda's ambassador to Rome, Elizabeth Paula Nepeyok.
Also, I would like to introduce Felix Kinalo, who has been handling Uganda affairs. He's country manager in Uganda. We hope to establish a full-fledged office here as soon as we can.
International Development Law Organization is an intergovernmental organization established in 1988 to promote the rule of law. It has 36 member parties to the agreement establishing the International Development Law Organization, and its headquarters are in Rome. Doreen Nasasra reporting for UBC News.
And about 1,834 students will benefit from the Higher Education Students Loan Scheme in the 2019-20 academic year. Said Minister for Higher Education John Chrysostom Muyingo released the list of the beneficiaries. He told the media that government is committed to increase funding for people to achieve their educational dreams.
Release the list of the 6th cohort of the successful
Ministry of Education and Sports and the Higher Education Students Financing Board have released the list of approved students to benefit from the loan scheme in academic year 2019-20. This fulfills Sustainable Development Goal 4 of ensuring inclusive and equitable quality education for all levels of education. In financial year 2019-20, government allocated additional resources of $2.4 billion, bringing the total budget to $30.182 billion.
The body has disbursed 60.5 billion Uganda shillings to 8,190 students, and shall increase the funding to ensure that more students in the participating universities and the other tertiary institutions also qualify, so as to widen the access and give chance to more needed students to attain higher education.
The demand for the students' loans has been increasing yearly, and this time the board received 7,310 applications. However, 1,399 students fell outside the eligibility criteria and were dropped.
The increased number of applicants is as a result of concerted efforts in awareness campaigns carried out by the board through a number of activities such as use of the community radio programs, print media, social media.
The results from the selection criteria present national outlook and regional balance, though no applicants were received from districts of Amdat and Nabilatuk. Among the successful students, 1,464 are for undergraduate programs, while 370 for diplomas.
Undergraduate programs have gone from 126 in the year 2018-2019 to 136 in the year 2019-2020. The diploma programs has also increased from 76 programs to from 71 programs to 76 programs, an increase of science in technology.
Of the 2,000 applicants who tried to apply online, only 210 were successful. Since 2014, 10,024 students have benefited from the loan scheme, and 1,700 have completed the grace period of repaying back the loan. I'm Nafka Farida, reporting in Kampala.
Minister for Relief, Disaster Preparedness and Refugees, Engineer Hilary Onek, has decried elements of forgery in the Refugee Department. He was speaking at the inauguration of the Refugee Appeals Board at the office of the Prime Minister in Kampala.
The Refugee Appeals Board has been inaugurated, with Gordon Lakidi Oloya, the new board chairperson. Cabinet approved the board, comprising other 4 members last week.
We pledge to really do our best. I know that Madam Chairperson has given me very, very big shoes that my feet may not fit in. I'll look for some cotton wool and put it inside. But we'll try our best with the new team to deliver according to, of course, the Refugee Act of 2006 and the Refugee Regulations of 2010.
One of the challenges the new board faces is addressing forgery, which was uncovered in 2018 when refugee figures were inflated.
And we raised it, and then we got the UNHCR to help us with their data system to kind of clean the register, which we have now successfully done. So there's no problem there, and only the culprits are being followed.
Initially, refugee statistics had been put at 1.5 million, only for verification to establish the exact figure at 1.3. So, refugee response officials view the appointment as timely.
Refugee response has a spotlight these days, whereas 3-4 years ago, the spotlight was there but not as sharp. These days, we are in the spotlight. The refugee response is in the spotlight. So all that we touch, all that we do needs to be done diligently and with integrity.
As you know, there's a massive work also awaiting you. You know that there are probably around 20,000 refugee determination backlog refugees. This is a huge backlog. It will not go all to you, obviously.
Among other mandates, the Refugee Appeals Board is used by refugees to challenge decisions on their applications for refugee status and relocation. For now, the open-door refugee policy remains, despite abuse by unscrupulous people.
The open-door policy is good per se, but it is subject to abuse. Within the neighborhood, there will be individuals in countries who will want to take advantage of our very positive, progressive policy to come and do other things here, masquerading as refugees. They will come masquerading as refugees, but it is your duty to, after the first sieving that is done by the REC will do the first sieving. when they do the sieving, there might be some elements that might escape in their sieve. Yours is the final one.
Other board members include Charles Wadenya, Gordon Mwesje, Haji Kisambira Muhammad Tezikuba, and Anim Angupale, the former woman member of parliament for Arua district. Henry Okurut, UBC.
The governments of Uganda and Kenya will agree to launch a cross-border program for sustainable peace and development in Turkana, West Pokot and Karamoja regions. The United Nations Development Program has committed $1 million, that's approximately 3.7 billion Uganda shillings. The Memorandum of Understanding will address common challenges the Karamoja cluster faces, such as drought and climate change, vulnerabilities such as insecurity, food insecurity and conflicts. Minister of Karamoja Affairs, Engineer John Byabagambi, and the UNDP resident representative Eliza Tafur addressed the media in Kampala.
Is enhance the Karamoja cluster to reduce resource-based conflicts, that is cattle rustling, the spillover effects of conflicts, and improve the livelihood of the communities of the Karamoja cluster through cross-border trade, sustainable resource management, and introduction of alternative livelihoods. The cross-border program for sustainable peace and development will focus on Turkana, West Pokot of Kenya, and Karamoja, though the Karamoja cluster covers the Turkana and the Pokots of Kenya, the Karamojong of Uganda, the Toposa from South Sudan, the Dasanach, and the Nyangatom from West Ethiopia.
We provided seed money to support the foundational work that Honorable Minister talked about $1 million, that's about 3.7 billion Uganda shillings to support this work. A history of common languages, a history of common descent, a history of common way of living, even as pastoralists. And this initiative really does three things for us. First, to cement that history and to consolidate the gains that the two countries have been working on over the years. This initiative also seeks to address the common challenges between the two countries. We know the challenges of the region: drought, climate change, illiteracy, conflicts, name it. But importantly, what this initiative does is about opportunities. This is a very resource-rich region. The potential for tourism, the potential for many things are there. And this allows us to leverage those opportunities.
So the Democratic Party joined counterparts to call to have electoral laws amended. A member of the Democratic Party, Michael Mavike, argues that there is need to amend the Parliamentary Elections Act, Presidential Act and the Electoral Commissions Act, which are inconsistent with a multi-party system of governance. The call comes at a time when Parliament is yet to discuss a private member's bill advanced by the opposition Attorney General Wilfred Nwagaba. Commenting on the new wave of kidnaps and murders, DP's Michael Mavike challenged security operatives to protect Ugandans and their property.
It is important that we reform the Parliamentary Elections Act, the Presidential Elections Act, the Electoral Commission Act, to ensure that they are in tandem with the current political dispensation. You recall that we moved away from the movement no party system now multi-party dispensation. But unfortunately, our electoral laws continue to reflect monolithism, political monolithism. So we are
Dr. Engineer Silva Mugisha has been appointed new board chairman of Uganda Business and Technical Examinations, replacing Professor Vanessa Sibariamreba. He takes over office with new expectations from youth who have hope in technical education. State Minister for Primary Education, Rosemary Seninde, advised parents to motivate the youth on benefits of self-driven skills. Let's take a look.
I, Dr. Silva Mugisha, swear that I will at all times well and truly serve the Republic of Uganda.
I want to accept to receive this report, which we've not had time to read. On behalf of the board, the new board,
I would like to request you or ask you, can we design some kind of model for skilling, I mean for helping our children right from primary? Me, as a minister in charge of primary education, that is where now I want to focus my interest. How do we do the skilling right from primary so that this child can be able to appreciate that it is not only about the degrees?
That the value proposition for UBTEB is to ensure that we churn out people, we help to churn out people who are going to improve the productivity of the industry. And in economic terms, productivity is output over input. And when we talk of improving productivity, it means we are talking of enabling the industry to produce more output given a certain level of input.
So as a new board coming in, we might start thinking of these strategies that we have support coordinating centers, maybe at the regional level, so that we are closer to the students we are continuously assessing, not to sit here and assume that whatever we want to be done is being done.
And one,
Uganda is currently on surveillance and preparedness for Ebola virus disease since it broke out in neighboring Democratic Republic of Congo. In our health radar today, we tell you how you can prevent contracting the virus.
Ebola is a viral disease and is caused by Ebola viruses. The signs and symptoms show between 2 to 3 weeks after contracting the virus. Ebola presents with high fever, muscle pain, vomiting, headache, general body weakness, and external bleeding. Ebola is spread by coming into contact with blood, body fluids, or organs of an infected person or animal. However, Ebola can be prevented by observing high standards of personal hygiene and avoiding certain practices.
We're calling upon Ugandans to wash hands thoroughly. Wash your hands thoroughly with water and soap. Avoid direct contact like shaking of hands, hugging with anybody suspected or infected with Ebola. We're calling upon Ugandans that all persons who have died of Ebola must be buried immediately by a trained burial team, and the person must be accorded a safe and dignified burial to prevent spread of Ebola. Once again, we appeal to the public to remain calm, to be vigilant, and to report any suspected cases to the nearest health facility.
More often, health workers are most at risk of contracting infectious diseases, including Ebola virus disease, as they administer care and treatment to the patients. In this case, they are advised to adhere to the Infection Prevention and Control, simply known as IPC.
Simple technique of hand hygiene, which is often neglected by many healthcare workers. And the good hand hygiene practice, you need to know when to perform, how to perform it, and where to perform it. So when to perform, there is a tool called your 5 moments. That is before touching a patient, before any clean or aseptic procedure, after body fluid exposure risk, after touching the patient, and after touching the patient surrounding. Those are the 5 moments when you need to perform hand hygiene.
But why is Ebola virus disease more prevalent in Africa?
Ebola is a result of, is a virus infection, just like HIV, just like, but its habitant is the fruit fly, fruit bats. So definitely you will note that probably other places don't have what? Fruit bats. So the interaction of man and environment, definitely you find that it gets in contact with what? With these bats. So when we destroy the habitats of the bats, or we consume now them, then the risk of transmission from animals to human becomes a reality.
At the moment, a number of vaccines are being tried, and there is hope that soon there will be a licensed vaccine for Ebola virus disease. Adia Nakute, UBC.
We take a quick break. When we return, business news.
Every dream has a challenging journey. Ours began in 1998 with a mission to drive the development of a robust communications sector in Uganda. We created structures to champion the dream. We've evolved, made discoveries, supported great minds, empowered Ugandans, and fostered a vibrant culture, enabling communication for all. Down the years, we've created memories and networks, uniting generations and building great partnerships. Together, we can go even further. UCC, celebrating 20 years of achievements.
Have you completed Senior 4 or Senior 6 and you want to do a 2-year certificate or a diploma course? Makerere Institute for Social Development, an affiliate to Makerere Business School, offers programs in accounting and finance, business administration, procurement and supplies management, social work and social administration, information technology, counseling and guidance, human resource, project planning and management, journalism, secretarial studies, and many others. We are located on Sa Apollo Kegwa Road, next to Oilcom Petrol Station, with a UBTEP Center number.
Welcome to the first ever Uganda-Tanzania Business Forum and Exhibition taking place on the 4th and the 5th of September 2019 at the Julius Nyerere International Convention Center in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. Come and explore new business and investment opportunities. Come and participate in open plenary discussions on finance, bilateral trade, infrastructure, extractives, and their challenges before the heads of state, government ministers, and policy makers, as well as showcasing your products and services at the business exhibition. Registration is now open. Log on to www.businessforum.biz today and register to participate in the 2019 Uganda-Tanzania Business Forum. Call us on 752-470-214 Uganda, and for Tanzania 784-323-068. The Uganda-Tanzania Business Forum is organized by and is proudly sponsored by
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Pain Arena. Introducing on the right corner, Mr. Action, the reigning heavyweight champion in the ring against
the Headache, the #1 contender. And the bell rings.
Headache charges forward with a steady right and a left hook. Action dodges. He misses out with an inch. Wait a minute. Mr. Action launches back with a kick. The final blow. He is out.
If symptoms persist, seek medical advice. Forget the long line hassle. With OneXBet, the power of placing the perfect bet is at your fingertips. Bet anytime from anywhere. Best of all, payment is instant. Place your bet on whatever you choose. Virtual games, bet games, sports, and even live betting. Winning has never been this simple. Bet with OneXBet. Advanced gaming is regulated by the Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board. Betting is addictive and can be psychologically harmful, and it's only eligible to persons above 18 years of age.
Does heartburn stop you from eating the things you love? Eating too fast, alcohol or spicy food can trigger acidity, heartburn, indigestion or flatulence. Your best bet is Better Cool. Better Cool works fast to relieve acidity, heartburn and indigestion. Trust Better Cool. Enjoy life.
If symptoms persist, seek medical advice.
Welcome back. You're still watching News Tonight. In business news, Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development will start manufacturing gas cylinders and liquid gas. This is after the ministry agreed with Egyptian-based Saad Eldin Group to start the project.
Uganda is to start manufacturing gas cylinder and liquid content. This comes after the Egyptian-based company Saad Eldin Group showed interest in investing in a multi-billion cylinder plant. In a pact between Uganda and Saad Eldin Group, Engineer Simon Dujang, the Cabinet State Minister for Energy, reveals that the undertaking will be an alternative source of fuel. The signing was witnessed by the Junior Minister for Minerals, Peter Lokeris. The two Cabinet State Ministers of Energy and Mineral Development say the investment will address environmental pollution.
In the recent past, we have been losing a lot of forest cover. We cook using firewood, and this is not sustainable. We'd like to move away from using biomass for cooking.
Very many Ugandans are looking for jobs. So we get our jobs. And then we save the hard currency which you use for buying this gas from outside. We cut off costs, transportation of this gas up to here.
Members of the Egyptian Saad Eldin Group, led by its chairman Muhammad Saad Eldin and Chief Executive Officer Dr. Walid Samir Abdelazim, hailed Uganda for creating room for investment.
At the end, we are happy to put our technology and our experience for this project that can be manufactured from people of Uganda under their hands. And
as first phase, to look after the Uganda market for establishing the first time in life in Uganda manufacturing locally manufactured cylinders with a capacity of 500,000 cylinders a year, which will be fantastic to the local market.
Uganda imports more than 15,000 tons of gas cylinders, which the initiative will bridge. Daniel Mugoya, reporting for UBC.
Uganda Revenue Authority has launched the 2019 edition of the Taxpayers Appreciation Month. Small and medium enterprises are the focus of this year's Tax Appreciation Month. Dennis Segoa has more.
Appreciating the taxpayers is key in boosting compliance, argues Doris Ekol, the Commissioner General, Uganda Revenue Authority. In contrast to the past events, which recognize the biggest taxpayers, the 2019 edition is focusing on the small and medium enterprises.
There are lots of other people that pay tax, and those taxpayers must also be appreciated, regardless of their size, regardless of how much revenue they contribute, regardless of how much in revenue growth that we are seeing. And that's why the focus this year is to put the spotlight on those, we call them the unsung heroes in tax payment.
SMEs employ the majority of Ugandans, and it is estimated to contribute at least 25% of the GDP, which ultimately position it top in boosting economic development. The one-month activities running on the theme, Every Taxpayer Counts, will offer various opportunities in areas such as skills and training, showcase products, and provide networking opportunities between the revenue body and the taxpayers.
We have oil and gas sector opportunities. The sector will need more supplies of goods and services. We think that by continuing to utilize ICT technologies and enhancing the e-commerce in trade and investments will go a long way to boost trade within SMEs.
We will position business mentors and coaches to provide advisory services to help these SMEs deal with day-to-day challenges, but also thereafter we'll continue to support them even after that week.
The climax of the activities will be on the 27th of September at Kololo Independence Grounds, where the best SME exhibitors and the most compliant taxpayers will be awarded. Dennis Igoa for UBC Business.
With that, let's take a look at how the shilling is faring against other currencies.
General performance on the Uganda Securities Exchange recorded a 340.33% in terms of turnover to a tune of 17.8 million Ugandan shillings. The local share index decreased by negative 421% and the all share index increased by 0.18%.
On the international scene, dozens of people have been arrested in the South African city of Johannesburg after rioters looted shops and torched buildings and vehicles. Police fired tear gas, rubber bullets and stun grenades in an attempt to quell the arrest on Monday. Now, many of the targeted shops are reported to be owned by foreign nationals, but the country's police minister, Sele Baheki, said criminality rather than xenophobia was to blame for the senseless violence, saying nothing has sparked any form of conflict between South Africans and foreign nationals. However, Nigerian foreign minister said Nigerian shops had been targeted by mindless criminals and promised to take definitive measures. South Africa has seen a spate of xenophobic attacks. The latest unrest reportedly began on Sunday when a building in Johannesburg's central business district caught fire and collapsed, killing at least 3 people.
Brought to you by Bet with 1xBet.
Team has returned from the All Africa Games, where a 10-medal haul gained 28th position. Our reporter was at Entebbe International Airport. Here are the details.
After a successful outing that yielded 10 medals at the All Africa Games in Morocco, Uganda's team has returned. Uganda's medals, 8 of which were bronze and 2 silver, were won in chess, boxing, weightlifting, track and field, and the badminton duo of Aisha Nakiyemba and Gladys Mbabazi.
Games were interesting and difficult on the other part because most of the players were looking for the 2020 Olympics.
Though Uganda failed to win any gold medal, overall team manager David Katende is pleased, especially after rare exploits in disciplines like chess, whose Harold Wanyama won bronze in the individual rapid category.
As regards the performances in the games, one thing that we must acknowledge for sure is that the standard of competition has gone high. I'm happy we were able to get a good number of medals, although we should have got more, I think, next time. And I think going forward, given what we saw in these games, we have even broken into new territory now that we can get medals in events like sprints, which has not been our usual end. It means we are getting further.
Uganda's medals at the games were by boxers Isaac Masembe and David Semuju, who won silver. Halima Nakai got bronze in the 800 meters. Weightlifter Zubairi Kubo returned with bronze, and the women's 4x400 relay team has a bronze medal to its name. John Barnes, Sentamo, reporting.
Meanwhile, local governments have been urged to stop diverting funds earmarked for sports development.
The 2019 National Primary Schools Ball Games and Special Needs Education Championship has climaxed at Iganga Municipal Ground. The week-long games attracted a record 100-plus teams in various disciplines, including handball, football, netball, and specialized skills development sessions to the early learners.
Only with good skills you can be a good player. And if you want to be perfect, learn not only the sports skills, motor skills, but add also some life skills. We are not interested to have a sportsman who, if his sport career is ending because of injury, he is broke and does not make a living.
Education and Sports Commissioner Apita Omara promised various changes to better the competition. Notable is introduction of regional qualifiers to avoid congestion and also save the very best for the finals, and also addressing of logistical issues like funding. With the most concern from the districts being inadequate funding, the Commissioner urged local governments to ensure they don't divert money meant for the sports docket in order to provide learners with vast opportunities that co-curricular activity can provide.
We also want to request local governments not to divert or misuse grants meant for co-curricular activities. Co-curricular activities are a very important part of the lives of the learners. We want the learners to learn how to live out there in society. Academics is good, but physical education, sports, music, dance, drama, these are the activities which bring out the skills that allow our young people to live out well in society.
The theme of the games was a fitting memento as Uganda pursues girl-child education. Participants from across the divide, including many from northern, western, eastern and southern, took part. John Barnes, Sentamo, reporting.
Now, with successful ladies category at the Uganda Open Golf Tournament in Chigo, the amateurs are set to compete for 4 days this week. The course has been worked on, waiting to host 269 golfers. Amon Ngabo has more.
The second event of the 2019 Castlelight Uganda Open Golf Tournament will tee off this Wednesday at the Lake Victoria Serena Golf Resort, Chigo. The amateurs will compete for 4 days in the Uganda Open activity calendar, and by press time, 269 golfers had registered for the showpiece. Defending champion Ronaldo Tile, also 2015 and 2016 winner, is favourite to come atop, and anything other than his triumph will be more of a shock.
Kweno course empya Serena wetaaga nnyo course management okusquaringa okuzanya obulungi kubanga wetolodde amazzi geetoleddewo wonna, so ate waliwo n'empewo y'amaanyi, so course management gye nakukolako ennyo nga nzanya ku course ezifaananako nga zino eri, so suubira mbu wajja kubawo challenge y'amaanyi.
Tough opposition, especially from Kenyan judges, is expected as they went through the practice round.
With us, we have players from different countries, from very many countries, as you can see from the flag posts. We've got players from the United States, from China, from Sweden, from Malawi, South Africa, and then obviously the East African countries. The first time in Uganda, we're going to see how our players are ranked, and we pray for fantastic weather. It's going to be quite a windy week, and we're here for fun and enjoyment.
The Serena Amateur event will also double as a World Amateur Ranking event, happening in Uganda for the first time. Castlelite is the leading sponsor of the tournament.
And Uganda Security Minister General Eli Tumwine has chorused the relevance of sports to a nation's development.
For all its varying intents and purposes, the Karamoja Doves Chess Club has been flagged off to Netherlands by Security Minister General Eli Tumwine. General Tumwine says targeting youth is a perfect bottom-to-top model that must be advocated for by all for continuity.
We are saying whoever goes anywhere, tell them. Yesterday our speaker in the United States was telling the people there that we hear you people talk negative things about Uganda. How can you talk about negative things about Uganda? Life is about two things. Positive and negative. If you choose a negative life, you will have negative things, you will have negative thoughts, you will have negative attitudes, you will have negative feelings, you will have negative results.
Team leader Christine Namaganda says such tournaments where the global best compete at form the basis for success at the senior level.
Right now I train chess. I still play for the country, but I also train. I train this team. I've trained more than 1,000 kids how to play chess. But among these, we've produced champions in East Africa. And these are one of the champions for East Africa. So they're going to represent Uganda at the Hujaven Invitational Chess Tournament.
The players on the team that will contest the 2019 Hogenven Chess Tournament include Kirabo Abigail, Subi Astrid, and Daniel Mwanje.
Chess is an encouraging sport. It can teach you about thinking, self-control, and many things.
While in the Netherlands, where competition officially starts on Thursday, the Ugandan youngsters will face others from countries like Spain, England, Germany, and Italy. John Barnes, Sentamo, reporting.
And there has been passion aplenty at the 2019 Karamoja Games hosted at St. Daniel Kamboni Primary School in Kotido. Let's take a look.
For all its varying intents and purposes, the Karamoja Games continue to be embraced by all in the region. Now, in its second edition, the Games have once again proved to be a source of joy amid this tight competition.
I want to thank the people of Karamoja for having turned up in big numbers. All the 9 districts of Karamoja have come for the second edition of Karamoja Games. This is a big achievement that I can assure people of Karamoja that we are moving forward.
The games that aim at, among others, a unity and talent search have received the blessing of Education and Sports Minister Janet Museveni, who was represented by Esther Nyakor.
The next generation that's going to come is not going to find the previous issues that we used to have as Karamoja region. Right now they're going to find us united. Like right now, if you look at the football pitch, we are having Cotido, the GA playing with the Mathenico. That was history. During my time, it was not there. We were enemies. Make sure that each clan was an enemy to the other. But now, so this kind of games are going to help us to build on the peace that the government of Uganda has brought to the people of Karamoja. After the disarmament program, of course, I want to thank the NRM government for doing this, and we really appreciate that this continues. This kind of games continue so that we can be able to build on and to firmly have this peace in the region.
The 9 regional districts competed in 5 disciplines, including woodball, football, netball, volleyball and track and field, whose best will take part in the Airtel Kabaka Marathon next year.
So we work together with organized groups to unearth talent, and we are glad to be part of the Karamoja Games and hope to continuously see these games grow. We hope to see the region unite, and it's a privilege to have all the 9 districts in one place, all enjoying sports through unity with the different sports, including football, volleyball, netball, and we hope the next superstars in the country can come from this region that has such immense talent, and we hope to continuously support the groups that are organizing this to move the games forward.
In the action, Moroto won netball and Karenga was the best in volleyball, while Abim was unstoppable in woodball. Nakapiripiri was dominant in football and also excelled in some events in track and field, with Amudat showing promise in marathon. John Barnes, Sentamo, reporting.
And with that, let's quickly take a look at the top stories for the night. For students to benefit from the Higher Education Students Loan Scheme. On the international scene, dozens arrested in Johannesburg loot. And in sports, Uganda's team returns from the All Africa Games with a 10-medal haul. Well, that sums it up. Thank you for tonight on Sign Language. Mugalu Mohammed. I am Rhoda Ngonzi. Good night.
Was brought to you by UCC, celebrating 20 years of achievements.